And we're live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, we're doing things a little differently today because we got our interviewee, if you will, ready to go. One Mad Raider. Do you want to give him a little introduction before we bring him in?
Yeah, please do. Obviously, the intros, but we want to shout out and give and celebrate our biggest winners from the week. We're at the midway point of our Wanna week right now. And Mr. David Smerling, the one Mad Raider himself, clipped off 3 separate wins the other night, including the Parlay Royale. It's good enough for $1,725 messing around on a Tuesday. Good to be good for David. Excited to talk to him. Ask him what he likes this weekend.
Yep, let's get him in here. Wow, you said he won how much again on the Parlay War?
$1,725 for the one Mad Raider.
You're right. It is good to be good. All right, let's bring him on. One Mad Raider, David Smerling. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. How's it going, guys?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Dude.
Is your camera working? Can you?
There we go.
There he is. There's our
beautiful
guy.
Cheers,
Thanks
boys.
very much. Oh, cheers.
Oh,
I should have had the piney going with you right there. I'm blowing it.
You know, all these parlay wins, I can afford these Russian Imperial Stouts, barrel aged. Good stuff, dude.
What
Good
a baller
stuff.
you are. That parlay win,
Yeah.
Lance, you didn't get a chance to peek it, by the way. Fun little strategy from you there. 11 legger. You went mostly locks. You had 9 basic, minus. It was like minus, or the point system on Wanna, like 1.14s all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
distant 12-point favorites usually across the board. And then you came in, and then you put in Wisconsin plus 3.5 and a prop from Wisconsin as your only sweat in the entire thing. I was actually on that game with you.
Yeah, I was sweating because they were following at the end. Then they were down by 4 or whatever. And then Tanji hits that last second 3 that didn't matter. I was like, thank fucking God, dude.
Yeah, it brings you all the way back. Because if that's the way you get clipped out, they smoke USC 2 nights before. They stick around in LA. They were up that whole game and all of a sudden let it get interesting and get beat late. At least cover the number, though.
Yeah, I thought they were going to cover. I thought they were going to win, actually, too. But yeah, at least they covered.
I was with you. I bet a little both. I had the plus 3.5 and I had a little money line. I didn't look at your card in time, so I didn't have your prop bet, which covered easily. You had who'd you have going? You had
John Blackwell. He's been going over 15 like every game. And I was gonna take Tanji. He went over his points too, but he hasn't been doing as good lately. So
yeah.
Blackwell's the guy right now, I feel there. If it's under 15, I'm taking him every time.
Where's home for you, by the way, David? You're a Midwest guy.
I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin originally. Well, a small town called Omro next to Oshkosh, but now I'm living in Columbus, Wisconsin, kind of by Madison.
Okay, good deal. Because I always see some of the good college hoops, but especially some of the Midwest schools just picking up steam right there. So I thought, because remember we talked Packers last time we had you on the show. Now we got Wisconsin hoops. Wisconsin just got themselves ranked. I guess they get beat by UCLA right there, but beat USC, who is off to a nice little run to start Big Ten play. You had 7 different college basketball takes in your parlay here. What's been your take of the college basketball season so far?
Well, I just watch a lot of Badger hoops, but I kind of just do a little research and I'll just look at which lines I think are bad, and I'll like the other day. I should have hit my Parlay Royale last night. I had Dwan Harris, or was that last night? Yeah, Dwan Harris Jr. from Kansas, over 5.5 assists. That was easy. And then I forget what the other one was. But sometimes there's just lines that don't make sense. You just got to find them, though. And that's the hardest 100%.
Part. I think that the college props especially. And you can find those on Wanna Parlay, which makes it fun. That's the way to go. And college hoops, Lance, I got to get you more into it because it's the Wild West.
No, 100%. My thing about college hoops, I've always not been a fan because I've been so much more of a fan of the NBA because like the talent drop off is obviously astronomical. But now as the NBA is becoming more and more boring, I've honestly shown more interest in this college basketball. And you've been winning at a great clip, Jack. So I need you to show me the ropes. You're damn right.
Yeah, it's like the National Blowout Association. That's what everyone's calling this. It's not even fun anymore. They just go up and down and shoot 3-pointers, no defense. It is kind of crappy. I'm about to watch the Bucks here on TNT. If the game is played, I'm not sure if their plane landed. They were in weather delays
Oh,
in New
interesting.
Orleans, I believe. Yeah, they had that crazy
wow.
Yeah.
snowstorm. So
Yeah.
That game got
they're gonna have like an
postponed.
hour.
That
Their plane was
Pelicans
supposed to
game.
land around 4, so I don't know if everything's on schedule still or what.
What
But
is
yeah, it
that
was.
line, by the way? Should we be peeking that? Should we be hammering
I,
Bucks here?
I know it's
I
six
think
and a
it was
half.
6. Yep,
Yeah.
6.5.
I was gonna say, what
Okay.
do you think? I for some reason the Heat play the Bucks tough always. It seems.
Yep.
But
Yep.
with this Jimmy Butler nonsense and whatever the hell is going on in Miami, do we sneaky take Bucks here? What do you think?
I think I don't know. I think I want the Bucks to win because I'm a homer, but truthfully, I think they might cover. The Miami might cover because you could probably take Bucks money line, but Eric Spoelstra's he's a genius, and I think Jimmy Butler's he's a plague to the team right now. You know what he's doing? Like it's everything he's doing is just for a show, and he's 35 years old. It's like where do you think you're gonna go from here? You know, he's dyeing his
Mr.
hair all
Planer,
these
this would
weird
be the-
colors and missing the planes on purpose. Like they were
Mhm.
just talking on TV. You only do that if you're trying to miss it on purpose. You know.
He's
So,
doing his best to force this trade. He's what's amazing though. I can't understand what second contract he thinks he's going to get. I think he's 35 or something like that
Yeah.
right now. If he has a
Mhm.
player opt-in to his Heat deal next year at $52 million, that's the best deal on the market. Why
Yep.
wouldn't you try to make this work? Why he's trying to flee and get a second contract? I
Yeah,
have
and you're
no
in Florida.
idea.
No taxes.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I mean,
You
short
know?
of playing in Arizona, that's the best NBA location. Texas maybe is good playing, but in terms of making the money back on your contract, yeah, $52 million in Florida. Holy hell.
Yeah. Yep.
Be good.
Yeah, I got lucky on that. The pick 4 and pick 5 I won too that same night with the Parlay Royale. It was all on BYU. So I was up all night. I go to bed early because I got to get up at 5 in the morning. So I'm sitting there. I keep checking my phone, sweating this. It was like a 1-point game at halftime. So that was crazy to wake up and see that they all hit. I was pretty stoked to see
100%.
that.
And it only
Uh-huh.
happens when it's guys like you. That's why I'm making a point night in and night out to come and check your profile and see what's happening. I actually, it was one of the great confidence boosters. I went and checked you out Tuesday night before your Parlay Royale got going, and I was all over Alabama over Vandy at home. Felt like a payback game after getting beat in the football season. I feel like Alabama is actually one of these teams that's got an argument they could make a run here late. I think Vanderbilt's not going to make the tournament. I was all over that one. Arizona versus Oklahoma State. Lantz was on that one big. And that one was a little hairy to start. You could have had that line the entire first half. And then they ended up pulling away and covering easily. And then you had the Lakers, which Lance and I are always on. So it was a beautiful. We were fired up on this card here.
Yeah, I like the Lakers. They're one of my squads.
There you go.
I've liked them since Kobe.
Yeah.
You know? So
you know what? And people play them hard. It's if you're going to get involved behind in an NBA season, it's an easy team to. If you just get in there and wrap your arms around them for like 4 games, it's easy to get back behind them. 2011, I was desperate for a team, and that's when Kobe. It was post the championship run, but Kobe was going off against the Raptors, and all of a sudden I just bit, and I've been in since.
yeah. I missed his final game. I fell asleep. It was a late game, and then I woke up at the very end when they were like, "Oh, like he scored whatever 50 points or whatever."
60. He had
I
60.
almost felt like I almost broke down. I was like, "Oh, the fuck did I miss this?"
Hey,
brother,
David, I got a story for you. So my dad was actually at the game. He was at Kobe's game, the final one, and him and his buddy turned to each other and left at the end of the third quarter because the game was from their perspective, they didn't like seeing Kobe check up all the shots in a meaningless game. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they left the game, David, so they didn't even see the end.
That's brutal.
Yeah, he was putting up a lot of shots.
Most shots in NBA history, actually, in that game. Fun fact.
Yeah.
But hey, he's a winner and he won. Salute to that. So David, I got real questions for you right now. We got conference championships coming up. We got Bills versus Chiefs. We got Commanders versus Eagles. Tell me what you're thinking anywhere around these games.
I got the Chiefs all day. I just think Mahomes and Andy Reid, they got the championship pedigree there. I think, and like they haven't been playing the best lately, but the Bills didn't look that good either. If Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews played a little better, I think it'd be Baltimore in there right now. And then the Redskins, I mean, I feel like they're not going to win, but I'm probably going to put money on it. I wish the line was at like plus 7.5.
Yeah,
But,
on the other side of that hook line. I totally agree with you.
Because who knows how bad Hurts had like a leg injury of some sort.
Yeah, he had that late knee against the Rams that they were kind of non-committal on how bad exactly he was hurt, but it did seem like he was limited.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I'll be rooting for the Reds or the Commanders for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the pickle I find myself in. I feel like I want to bet for both favorites if I'm using my head, but I really want to root for both dogs.
Yeah. Well, I like the Chiefs because I'm a Packers fan, so I'm a homer. And this is a really rare take. Everyone fucking hates the Chiefs. They're sick of them winning. They see, fucking Mahomes flopping at out of bounds when he barely gets touched and whatnot. But it's greatness. Well, a three-peat? How many times has that happened? Has that happened?
Totally.
No,
it would be
never happened
ever in NFL history. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to see the three-peat. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and I want to see that because the Packers aren't in it, and that's my team. So.
You know what? Fair take.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Honestly, it's kind of where I'm at with that Chiefs Bucks game. I just want to or Chiefs Bills game. I just want to kind of turn that thing on and just enjoy it because I think we're talking about two potentially top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Lance and I have said multiple times on the show, Mahomes has already done enough for us to be the boat. He's not the GOAT yet. That takes some glory and some other things that are out of his control. But he is the best we've ever seen. And so just all-time football. And the last time, or 2 times ago, these guys met in the playoffs was the greatest playoff game ever. That was that epic fourth quarter, and Mahomes ends up winning on the coin toss. But remember, coin toss rules in the postseason as of last year. Both these guys get a chance to touch the ball. So hopefully we get something epic. It would be a blast.
Yeah, they changed it because of that game with the overtime rule.
Yeah, Josh Allen deserves a chip too. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I kind of feel bad for him if they do lose because I feel like he needs to get a ring at some point. He's just too damn good. Mm-hmm. And I almost feel the same for Lamar Jackson. His post-game interview, he's like, he's got to be pissing Mark Andrews. Hold that catch the fucking ball. And then you fumble too? Like, come on, man.
It's brutal. After his fumble, both of them too. And it's their best offensive players by a lot. That was brutal.
Yeah.
I lived in Baltimore for a couple of years. So the city of Baltimore is down bad right now. I can attest to that. That was that's a shame. But it's one of those things. They'll be back. They're going to have their opportunities again. As will all 3 of these teams. I think we're talking about 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Really, I think you could plug and play those guys in any era. I know I'm the biggest Tom Brady and Peyton Manning fan in the world. I know you guys do. I'm Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
I'm Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I fucking people hate on Tom Brady too because they were sick of seeing him win. Yeah, dude, you'll never see that shit. Well, now with Mahomes you are, but it's rare. It's rare.
100%.
Enjoy it.
Unbelievable. And then when he does it back with
people
Tampa,
hate on his
how are you not riding this Tampa team? You're going with Bill in the divorce? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right? Exactly. Now he's in UNC. We'll see how that turns out. That's wild.
Yeah. You see his 24-year-old girlfriend, 100% committed to UNC football?
I suppose money gets you whatever you want, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of that one guy, I mean, he offered that Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, $1.5 million. Yeah. I mean, I know this is old news, but you can get so many dime pieces for $1.5 million? Are you kidding me? Come on now, that's why
I don't buy it. That's why I don't buy the story. It's too much money.
Yeah, that might not be true. I don't even know if that was.
No, but it's in a deposition. It's at least true in terms of it's a true story. Whether or not it's factually correct is not.
Wait, I have a question for you guys. So, if you had to spend $1.5 million on a woman, who is it?
Oh God.
It would be. God. It's hard. It's hard to top my head. There's a lot.
Early Britney Spears, my first love.
Britney Spears, yeah, Britney Spears in prime, maybe.
Era Britney Spears. It has to specifically be that. It can't be now, obviously.
I was gonna say if you're paying if you're paying for Britney Spears now, $1.5 million. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's a bad investment.
Yeah, Yeah, for some reason I'm just thinking of a bunch of like older women right now, like Jennifer
Yeah.
Lopez. I mean, she for over 50, that's the one I'm thinking, but I can't think right now what like in their prime. I can't really think of anything.
Well, wait. So what were you drinking again? What is that again? One more time.
A Russian Imperial Stout.
A Russian
I don't know if you
Imperial
can see that.
Stout. Yeah, yeah, I got it. Here we go. So
barrel aged 9 months in these whiskey barrels or whatever. So you get a little hint of the whiskey too, kind of.
Yeah.
It's made at Hubbleton Brewery, this small little brewery right next to me. They don't really do much except for right there, but it's fucking delicious. I have a golf simulation league that I play there, and every Wednesday, so we get a little tipsy. So today was a little rough this morning for me. But
how awesome is that? A little indoor golf. I mean, because it's snow where you are right now, right?
It's like 0 degrees right now. The other day it was negative 35 with the wind chill. We had to cancel school and everything. I'm a custodian at the high school here in town.
Beautiful.
So I mean, I get a day off then.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's good living.
That's why I've been telling everyone at work. I'm like, you guys should get on this Wanna Parlay app because I've been making more money here than I do at my fucking job. So now I just gotta save some for the tax forms and shit. You know,
there you go.
I gotta remember that.
Exactly right.
I start telling people my winnings. Now it's like they hate on me. They're like, "Oh, what about your taxes?" Like, who the fuck cares about the taxes?
Yeah. If the IRS, by the way, comes after you, I think you'll make more money in the social media campaign we'll launch in your defense of like, really, they're coming after this guy's Wanna winnings? Are we joking right now?
Yeah, exactly.
IRS have never won a bet in their lives. This is bullshit.
Yeah, and all the money I lost on DraftKings and all those other shitty apps, like, I never got that. I never put that in my taxes. I'm sure I should have did that, but
you should have gotten a tax return. You should have gotten a tax return.
Yeah, I don't even play those apps anymore. It's just Wanna. And I got my buddy on Purple Sticky, his name is. He's just started, but he's won a couple free play prizes. I just got him on. I'm like, dude, you just don't get smart with them. Just look into your picks and you can fucking win money, man.
Yeah.
So he's good at the free play shit, but he hasn't had luck on any of his pick fours or nothing yet. So
yeah.
He thinks I'm crazy doing the Parlay Royales, but I'm like, dude, if you buy the ticket, it's $37.50 instead of $50. And I mean, how many chances do you get to win 1,000? You got to lose, you know, so many times not to hit it. So
100%. It's you only get one submission every night you're playing it. So really, how many people are really going up against you? It's doable. You win a parlay in that deal, you're going home with $1,000. That's as good a deal as you're going to find on any site.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
I've been having a great time since I've been on here, and I love watching you guys on the podcast. It's awesome. You guys are entertaining as fuck, and you know your shit. So it's fun to watch, man. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate that. There's a lot of guys in our comment section and Instagram right now that are really just trashing our takes. But it's honestly inspiring. It feels good to know that there's at least one person out here.
You said Tom Brady. Everyone fucking hates Tom Brady. Now that he's a commentator, everyone's like, oh, he fucking sucks. He's not the goat at commentating. They give the guy a fucking shot, and he knows his shit. Yeah, so it's like haters are gonna hate, right?
Yep.
I'm so with you, David. I appreciate it, dude. Well, you're a true son of Wisconsin. I love the beer. We're gonna have to come to Wisconsin someday and have a couple of those with you at that simulator deal.
Now we got to meet in Chicago. The drop takeover.
Oh yeah,
I want to make it. So this is another thing. These winnings might help me. I have an old piece of shit car. I got this old '99 Mustang right now, and it's got almost 300,000 miles. That fucker. Sometimes at night, the lights randomly shut off when I'm going down the road. They'll flicker for no reason. It's something to do with my switch, but there's so many issues with that. So I'm trying to get my brother to drive me there. He's from Chicago. Okay. He just moved back to Wisconsin, but I'm like, let's fucking go to this bar. We can meet up with some Wanna Parlay people. It'll be fun, man.
Yeah.
And he said he would, so I'm holding him to it. So
yeah, absolutely, Dave. Appreciate it. Well, we'll be back in touch soon because you'll be back in the leaderboard, I guarantee, by the end of the weekend, and then we'll be talking by next month.
Thanks, man. I hope so.
Yeah, great talking to you as always. Go Pack, go Badgers, go your guys.
Yeah. Go Bucks tonight.
Yep, Bucks tonight.
Go Bucks tonight. More than anything, go one Mad Raider. Appreciate you, dude.
That PRA for that Khalil Ware might be something to look at. I don't know if it went up more. The Khalil Ware on Miami, he's been doing pretty good lately. Pretty good rookie they got there.
Yeah, you're 100%.
So he's been getting a lot of playing time too.
Yeah.
but I don't know what the numbers at. It's been jumping around a lot today.
I'm jotting it down. I'll just take a quick look at it versus the season average, because I'm with you. I didn't hear his name at all. I don't remember the draft. I don't remember any of it. But I've heard his name now 3 times this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Spoelstra can find those guys, and he plugs them in.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no kidding.
All right, David Smerling, it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next time.
All right, later, guys. Have a good one.
Peace, buddy. Great talking with you.
There it is.
Yeah, outstanding.
What just a wholesome American. I love that guy.
He's a true son of Wisconsin. They're good people. That's where we're from.
Yeah.
That's our people.
That's our homeland. All right. So let's hop into a little bit of accountability hour. Let's talk our picks.
Let's speed, because these are 2 days old now, so no reason to go. I go 2-2 because I threw my prop into the one game I missed. Got Alabama -12 versus Vanderbilt. Dominated the entire game, only just sweat it really late, but easy money there. Texas -2, easy money. I like Texas down the road, Lance, as a wily 8 seed, something to keep in mind. SMU gets blown out by Louisville, just swam into an absolute boat motor. Louisville was shooting the lights out. They were pressuring the hell out of them. SMU gets their just noses kicked in. It was brutal. So obviously Boopy Miller doesn't hit his. I end up going 2-2. 2-1 on the games, but 2-2 overall in the picks.
Hey, on my game line straight bets, I went 1-1. Hit with that Arizona -8.5 at Oklahoma State, but I missed on the Knicks -11.5 at the Nets. It was a brutal game. One of those games where, a great team like the Knicks, well, call it a good team like the Knicks, just comes out flat. Their stars weren't starring. Cat was putting on the shoulder load because he's just bigger and stronger than anyone they have at center right now starting. So that also bleeds into this. Jalen Brunson, over 25.5 points in this parlay, loss. Cat over 12.5 rebounds. That was a win. Magic -1.5. Dude, this bet looked great. I think going up to a halftime. Then they just got their doors blown off. So that was depressing. Bankero over 4.5 assists. That was also depressing. Get that shit out of here. I'm not betting on the Magic for a little while. And then going on to my Laker picks. Rui over 12.5 points. No, the guy's just so average. LeBron James over 8.5 assists. He had 7 in the first quarter, I believe. First quarter, first half. And Anthony Davis over 13.5 rebounds also was a win. But overall, 3-4 in the parlay, which obviously you lose one, you lose all. So it was just dog shit. But all right, let's move in the most important thing going on right now, the NFL playoffs. Conference championship weekend. Or I guess conference championship Sunday. Both games are on Sunday. And I got a couple questions for you before we get into our picks. So the first question, I want you to rank the QBs left in the NFL playoffs.
So we'd agree, Mahomes number one. It's not close, and not to say that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, some of these guys we've had in the playoff run, aren't all-time greats themselves, but without question, on paper, the eye test, everything, he might be the best quarterback I've ever seen. I think when it's all said and done, it'll be him going by Tom Brady as the best quarterback of all time. He might even go get his number of 7 Super Bowls, which I would have guessed was an impossible record that was going to withstand the test of time. So the only thing that Tom Brady's going to have over Mahomes is that Mahomes clipped him in that AFC Championship game, and then obviously going down the stretch in the Super Bowl. So then you've got Josh Allen, for me, is the obvious number 2. He's going to win MVP this year. Would have been really tough. Lamar would have been here, by the way, had the Ravens won that game as the number 2. It'll be interesting, though. I think pressure on Josh Allen here. I think you got to play perfect to beat the Chiefs right now. I really do. I think they've proven when the pressure is on, they only play better. They bring it to another level and another standard. Really, the only teams in this situation that have been able to get to them in the last couple of years have been Joe Burrow's Bengals. Only team to really fuck around with them. So it's gonna be fascinating. Rooting hard for the Bills. Would not be mad to see the Chiefs win, just see greatness forge ahead. Would probably then find myself rooting for Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, number 2, stoked for him. Jalen Hurts, dicey situation here because Jalen Hurts should be 3, Lance. I'm going Jalen Hurts 4, given the knee limitation. Now, I don't know how serious that is, but since he's basically the back half of this season, I think with the season that Saquon is having, Jalen Hurts hasn't necessarily had to do anything outside of, just conduct the offense and be a game manager. So he's not turning the ball over at all, but he's been ultra conservative, except for that run that he just had in the first quarter in the Rams game there last week. Haven't really seen him be explosive. This has been offense brought to you by Saquon. So for me, actually, as it stands now, I'm going advantage Jaden Daniels. I'm saying he's my number 3 and Jalen Hurts is my number 4. Jaden Daniels is just taking this thing to another level. They get the 28-point second quarter there against Detroit, go on the road and beat the 1 seed as a rookie. That's a hell of a fucking game, man. Now you got to go into Philly, hostile environment, represented the NFC 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. I'll be honest, I have a hard time betting in these games because of how much I want to root for the underdogs, but how much I think, unfortunately, it's going to be the favorites.
Yeah. Hey, your list, I agree 100%. I have it the same order. And I also agree with your take, how it's tough because betting, my brain tells me go with the favorites, but my God, I want these underdogs to win. I want to see Josh Allen in a Super Bowl. I want to see a rookie quarterback in a Super Bowl. I mean, some of these things, it could just lead down to greatness. But you're also right. Appreciate Mahomes and the Chiefs while we have. This is unbelievable. I've never felt this type of dominance other than, obviously Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's that thing. It's like I literally start laughing when the Chiefs go down like late second quarter, early third, where I'm like, and here goes all of America to rush to their phones to try to get a live bet in here on Mahomes. Because I don't even know how they're offered the line. It's absurd. By the way, that's why you find the line where it is Chiefs minus 2.5. 1, it's probably an accurate line. I bet I've got the Chiefs winning by 3 in my head. But 2, if you put that thing at Chiefs plus anything, Mahomes' stats against a spread when he is the dog are so appalling. It's crazy. They would have had the most one-sided fucking books ever. It would have crossed the 0, and then we'd be sitting here saying it's guaranteed the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right on those lines. And yeah, just going with the list. Obviously, Mahomes won. I don't even know how to argue anyone else in front of him. Josh Allen is 2. Jaden Daniels, easily, I believe. Personally, I rank already Jaden Daniels higher than Jalen Hurts throughout the league, throughout anywhere. I think he's a significantly better quarterback. I think he throws a way better football in a lot better situations because the Eagles offense, we saw them last year lose to the Bucs early in the playoffs. And that was pretty pathetic. And they were spiraling. Sirianni and the Eagles, there was all this beef and drama going on. If it wasn't for the hero Saquon Barkley, they would be in shambles. There would be problems over there. So Saquon Barkley, I think saved the Eagles personally. But yeah, all right, let's go into the games. Let's talk game lines. Let's do this.
Eagles, they had it at 6 most recently. I saw it. I've seen it get up to 6.5 versus the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got that over under at 47.5, and I've kind of seen that hold tight right there. I think that's going to be the number through and through. As of now, I'm saying, you lead it off.
I'll lead it off. Give me the Eagles -6. Even though, like we said, I really want the Commanders to win. But the theme of these playoffs have been the home teams, with the exception of the Commanders. They've been winning games. Home teams have won throughout the entire playoffs. Now, the exception to the Commanders, if you look at their games, their first one on the road at Tampa. Now, Tampa Bay, Florida isn't one of those weather excruciating sites. And there's, no rain, no weather to really mess with the game, especially that night. So I don't know how much the home field matters in the NFL compared if you were to look at college and SEC games when there's none of the weather or those factors in. I'm
kind of with you because then they go in the Dome in Detroit. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the next week,
that place was rocking a little bit, but they took the crowd out of it early by getting up.
100%. They took the crowd out of it. They're in a dome where a running quarterback. I mean, that's a field day. And, you could argue a running quarterback, it's going to be hard to tackle him in the cold, sleek, wet, like it's going to be in Philly. But we just saw Jalen Hurts try to run around. He twisted his knee. It's that easy. And you're trying to keep these guys up, your franchise guys. So I think that this weekend and it's expected to light snow on that Sunday. I had to do the forecast report before. I think the wet and cold is to Philly's advantage, Jack. What do you think?
I'm with you, and I'm just thinking about this overall. I think just the narrative of the game. It's under in the Eagles, or it's going to be over in the Commanders. They've played twice this year, obviously, as divisional rivals. Eagles won at home 26-18. Commanders won at home 36-33. So that's bore itself out. That's over that number, obviously, with the Commanders win. It's under that number with an Eagles win. Something to think, some things to think about this week. Commanders' rush defense has been an issue. If you include playoff numbers and going back, and they played well actually against Detroit last week, but they rank in the bottom 5 of the league this season in yards per carry allowed. So they're allowing 4.8 yards per carry. If that's the case against a Philly offensive line that gets the most yards before contact for Saquon Barkley, and then you've got Saquon going on this historic clip right now, I just have a hard time seeing the Commanders hang in there. And it's real hard to win a game when you can't stop the run. Real hard to win a game when you can't stop the run. So that's a big issue number one. And then so you look at like the format of how are they going to win this game, because you say, well, they just beat the Lions. They were able to stop the run. You look at that game. 3 turnovers in the second quarter by the Lions turns into 28 points. And all of a sudden, they were able to play that game from there. And the Lions had to play catch up and all of a sudden had to start throwing. If you're thinking that there's going to be some similar recipe like that the Commanders are going to basically just continue to be turnover happy and go there, know that Jalen Hurts has only turned the ball over 7 times all year. And the Eagles have a team has had 0 so far this postseason. So they're going to be able to run the ball with Saquon. They're going to be able to keep people honest and get numbers with Jalen Hurts, hopefully on the run game. I know he's a little limited, but they gave him a carry and they rolled him out both ways, even with the little knee issue. So I'm thinking it's Eagles, and I would love to be wrong, but I'm thinking it's Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, we both agree.
I think too, the themes of these Eagles games, Lance, is Saquon Barkley just seems to just bust one late. It's just, he just 70 yards and he's out. So I am not fucking with this overall over-under. First half under, people playing good defense.
Yeah, hey, that's smart, because you're 100% right. Each of these games, it almost feels like damn near every game he's in, at the end of the games, he breaks it off. But, So listen to this, though. Listen, this is me going on my, whatever you call it, where I can wrap a story in my head. So the Commanders, they beat the Buccaneers. They make it past the wild card. They're going to the Lions. The locker room, they're saying, why not us? No one had us here. An inspired effort, and they beat the Lions. Do you think there's any way the Commanders carry over the Lions win even more in their favor? And, some of these stats that we see, like 4.5 yards per carry, shit's going to be different because it's playoff football. Everyone's fired up. They want to make the Super Bowl. I'm like, do you think Washington's defense, especially who has one of the most expensive interior D lines, do you think they could somehow shut down any Eagles run game? Or do you think it's kind of, they're going to have to win off the back of Jaden Daniels being great?
Only thing I can see for them, can you just be stingy in the red zone? Because I really don't see a scenario where they're all of a sudden shutting Saquon down. But can you be stingy in the red zone and hold up for a lot of field goals, not give up a lot of touchdowns? That's fine. And honestly, I mean, Dan Quinn, head coach of the Commanders, one of the better coaches, defensive coaches in the league, is calling the show over there. So And then it's Vic Fangio for the Eagles, who is like literally the best defense coordinator the last 10 years in the league. So it's defense to me. It's under and underball to me. If we look at the matchups earlier in the year, it's Eagles.
Yeah. No, and I think you're right.
Last plot line, Lance, too. Cosme or whatever his name. Whatever his name. The guard for Washington.
Oh, the one that got hurt.
Highest paid guard in football, out for the rest of the season. So interesting little deal there when you've got Jalen Carter cutting it loose, having 6 tackles and 2 sacks last week. Good luck, Jaden Daniels. Having said, he's got some freak stat where he averages like 9 yards a carry when he's pressured. So I don't fucking know what to do with him. I'm rooting for the Commanders. I'm rooting hard. If I were putting money down on this thing, it's going to be Eagles and it's going to be first half under.
Yeah, I also think with their last matchup, because the Commanders came back on them. The Commanders came back on the Eagles. The Eagles should have won the second matchup as well, but they actually got stolen from. And I'm like, that revenge factor at home. I mean, these things everything to me points to Eagles. As much as I want it to point somewhere in the mist, Commanders, it seems like Eagles all day.
Yeah.
All right.
But this dude, Jaden Daniels, is damn good.
Exactly.
Hey, Lance, last thought here. And you know what? Actually, it's fine because I think our Chiefs-Bills conversation is going to take 2 minutes. Where it's like, hey, everyone wants the Bills, but fuck, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The top 4 quarterbacks in the league right now, which is always the great conversation of like, who are the top, 6 or 7 guys, and therefore who are to potential Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. You go back through it. Very, very few outliers ever win a Super Bowl. For the most part, they're top 5 quarterbacks in the league. I think we unanimously agree on Mahomes in no particular order. Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar are your top 4 quarterbacks, and 4 of freakier ones of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that 5th slot is so open, it's crazy. It's Matthew Stafford's. How much longer is he playing in the league? Are you really putting Jared Goff in there? 2 bad games from Jared Goff and you want him off your team because he's so immobile. I think if Jaden Daniels goes and pulls this game off and is going to the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, how hard is it going to be to just slip him right there and say he's 5th? And the line starts behind him.
If Jaden Daniels makes this Super Bowl, I have him as 5th. And I don't even know if I'd take the time to argue with anyone because what he's doing. You can't even compare it to many other seasons because it's like, dude, this guy's just he's just a winner. Is he just better?
Like people you would think maybe in that list. Well, if he wins this game, he's going by Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts is off that list. Herbert just lost his first round playoff game in a game he was favored by 3.
Again,
Herbert is out of that 5 slot until proven different. Trevor Lawrence has missed the playoffs 2 years in a row after making it just the one time. He's out of the consideration for that spot. So all of a sudden, who the fuck's in there? I think
you have CJ. I think a guy like CJ Stroud. He played well this playoffs, even though he lost to the Chiefs. Yep.
I think Matthew Stafford.
Stafford's still up right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of those guys. It's like and I hope he does as a Rams fan because I still think he has some more left in the tank. He's not going to go wow you in the regular season. He's past that part of his career. But there's a guy you want with the football in his hands at the end of a playoff game. Stafford's one of those guys, and he's proven that.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's important to understand that line because if you're not in that group as a team, as like an NFL GM, I feel like you have to go swing and miss in the draft again to give yourself a chance. You can't go play this. We're going to win it with the bridge quarterback and invest in our defense and do that because it's proven time and time again. It's been done like 4 times ever. It's been like Joe Flacco's Ravens. And by the way, Joe Flacco got really hot in that playoff run.
And he was drafted there. So, I mean, that was...
Yeah. Trent Dilfer, Ravens way back in 2001. Like Peyton Manning in the second Super Bowl, or the first Super Bowl appearance with the Broncos. But even that, they were like toggling between him and Osweiler. Like it was a weird year. So it's interesting. Jaden Daniels, hell of an opportunity here. Chiefs Bills. I'm going to lead us off here. For me, Lance, it's the Chiefs until it isn't the Chiefs. and I don't even know that I want to bet this game because I just want to see an all-world game, and I find myself slightly rooting for the Bills. Some fun facts: the Chiefs currently have the longest win streak in NFL postseason history with 8, going by Brady,
Wait,
Belichick,
and
Patriots.
another thing about that stat, Jack, they're the only team like on that list that it's consecutive playoffs. The other ones, it's not consecutive. Other teams,
yeah. And then I'd say this. So take that. That's the fact. And then, true or not, the self-perception of disrespect they've had throughout this year is very real to them. They think they've been snubbed. Mahomes was voted as like the 4th best player in the league before the start of the season. The Eagles currently have better Super Bowl odds than the Chiefs do, as 2-time defending champions. So in a season, the Chiefs lost 1 game, and they get a second chance against that game. I'm taking the Broncos loss off because it was a preseason roster. So all that being the case, in the playoffs, at home, chasing the first three-peat and basically NFL glory, which is the greatest American glory you could ever get, I don't see a world the Chiefs don't play their absolute best game. And if that's the case, if we're getting that scenario, I mean, how the fuck do you beat that? You as the Bills have to play perfect. You can't get fucked by the flags. You can't fuck up time of possession. You have to have the ball last. Like all these little details. You can't have any short fields. Can't have any missed field goals. You have to play to a T perfect. I don't see it. I'd love to see it though. I would love it because it immortalizes Josh Allen, and what a win! Be one of the great wins of all time because it's one of the great teams of all time. And so in that way, I'm kind of like I don't care as much about result. Like I'm rooting for the Bills, but more so because I'm just rooting for a good game. Yeah, I just want a good game. So rooting for the dog to start, but then rooting for one of the great fourth quarters of all time, which it was 2 times ago when these guys played.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, home teams are the theme this playoffs, and the Chiefs have been the theme of the playoffs for the past 7 years. Other than facing Tom Brady or Burrow, I had to throw Burrow in there. I mean, come on now. And but you know, I feel like myself and the rest of football fans all around the globe that aren't Chiefs fans agree. We want the Bills. I feel like everyone wants to see not only the Chiefs lose, but everyone likes Josh Allen. He's always been a likable guy. The Bills, I mean, you know, they're 4 years in a row Super Bowl losses back then with what's his name, Jim Kelly or whoever that quarterback was. And now they've been garbage for years, and now they're finally building it up. I mean, this is great. This is a great story in sports. But
it's a WWE matchup.
Yeah,
it's Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant right here. It's all time.
It's everything you want, but personally, yeah, I'm with you, man. Chiefs. It's Chiefs all day. I just don't see a world at Arrowhead. We've seen everything. We've seen it all. We've seen this game before. We know how the officiating goes in these games. You got to give advantage Chiefs. Quarterback play. I mean, I know what we've said about Mahomes. Like, we obviously give Mahomes the better nod, but they're both great. They're both great. We're
talking about a season Josh Allen's going to win the MVP. Mahomes is not going to get a vote for it. So
exactly.
We always see it in terms of like where they belong on the tapestry of NFL greatness versus like contextually. In this game, maybe Josh Allen is better.
Yeah,
but
there's an argument for that. I believe there's an argument for that, but I'm not going to say that's how I believe. You know, we'll leave it at that. But you look at the run game, both teams are pretty good. Bills' offensive line has been sneaky this season. I never realized it till about a couple weeks ago. I was like, wait, they're actually like good. They're legit.
They were mauling against the Broncos, who was a hell of a defense this year. They were mauling them. So now the Chiefs' defense has been exceptional. I still just think you're just not going to be controlling this game against the Chiefs. You got to start up, and then you got to make sure you finish last.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the midst of it, you can't give them any short fields. You can't have a punt from your own 10 that you muff, and all of a sudden Mahomes gets 40 yards. You can't, like, anything that starts this thing up. They're chasing. Like, I don't know that they're going to get another shot at 3 in a row. Kelsey's going to retire. This thing is going to start to look different. You got all these great young quarterbacks. You know, things are going to Things
No,
are going to change.
you're 100% right. The 3P is crazy.
For this is the moment to define this dynasty right now. And then literally everyone could retire as Hall of Famers and champions and the whole thing.
Yep. 100% right.
Mahomes' stats versus anybody not named Tom Brady are already there. They're already there.
Yeah, he's already. You could argue he's already the second best quarterback of all time. You could have that argument.
Yeah, on a blind, just rattle them off. Just put them up. Next
I could stack. You could stack them next to anyone and be like, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take Mahomes. I'm gonna take that guy. Oh, David Smirling. Bucks are still on tonight. Just a 1 hour delay. Keep going. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I wanted the Smirling. No, nice, beautiful thing.
But
let's get our picks going tonight. Now that we have the Bucks conversation getting thrown in there. 100%. By the way, how did Harry's hockey picks do?
Harry's hockey picks, I think, went 1-2 or maybe 0-3. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I yelled at him earlier today. We had a conversation about it. Actually, no, it was last night. Later last night.
I had to get in the hook.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going all college hoops again. I'm going back to the well. It's what I know. I got Memphis minus 12.5 versus Wichita State. They are due an ass-kicking of a win in my eyes, and this line tells me it's going to be today. Memphis is a team that's good enough to have beaten Missouri, UConn, Michigan State, and Ole Miss already this season, which is a hell of a run right there. And now they're coming off a sleepy road trip in which they got beat by Temple. So weird spot in the schedule. They're going to start playing great. This is a team that's going to have decent odds come March. They've had 4 days of rest. They're back at home. I think they play great and get on a roll tonight. So I like them covering the 12.5, no problem. And I really like their first half number as well. I think it's 5.5. So I'd be all over that bad boy. If you're going to climb aboard that game, then we're going here. Louisiana Tech minus 5.5 versus Western Kentucky. They're coming off back-to-back losses on the road. La Tech returns home tonight for a get-right game, Lance. 13-6 team, whose overall record is amongst Conference USA's best, but because of their bad start to conference play, they find themselves at the bottom of conference standings. So this is a huge get-right game tonight. Get right and then go on to compete to win this conference, which is where, if you were watching press conferences of these guys a couple weeks ago, that's what they've stated they wanted to do. So I expect them to cruise and cover comfortably tonight. And then last one, I'm taking Maryland plus 7.5 at Illinois. I really like Illinois. One of my favorite teams of the year. I think their point guard's an absolute dude. I expect them to be really good come tourney time. But I think this is a sneaky, underrated Maryland team who isn't getting nearly enough respect here. Maryland is 14-5. They've got 5 losses on the year, or an OT loss to Northwestern. They lose both to Washington, Oregon, taking the long trip out west. Obviously, a huge flight from Maryland to be coming out to Washington, Oregon in the middle of the year. And then Purdue on the road in a close game, and Marquette. In every single one of those losses, all good teams, they cover this number. Illinois lost 2 of their last 3, including USC at home. I think we get a competitive game tonight, and this number is way too big. I'm taking the Terps.
I like it. I'd say, since, one of those things I just don't know a lot about, we call it college basketball. It looks good to me. You talked me into it. I mean, I'm logging.
I got a little random too.
So. Yeah, the law. You're telling me about La Tech, and I'm sitting here just like.
Yeah, tell me about La Tech basketball press conferences.
I couldn't even tell you where in Louisiana La Tech is. You know?
I do. It's actually not that far from the border. I'll get there.
All right. You think on that one, and I'm gonna give my one sole pick of the night, because I'm gonna be honest. I looked around the board. I didn't like much hockey because I've honestly been getting smoked on hockey. So I was like, I need the rest of this week off. Frickin' Harry. And then some of the NBA. I mean, like we were talking Heat Bucks with David, and that's a tough line because I don't know if I'm gonna get the Miami Heat that's plays the Bucks tough, or if all this Jimmy Butler nonsense and a little Adebayo out, are we just gonna roll over? Are we gonna, and the Bucks, they're still fighting for a championship and to be in that conversation. They're up to the 4th seed. So there's a lot. I was just confused. So you know what? I said, fuck it. Give me Lakers money line versus Celtics. Fuck Boston. I'll repeat that. Fuck Boston. And yeah, so give me Lakers money line. That's the one lock of the night.
La Tech is in Ruston, Louisiana. Ruston. Right up there by the Louisiana-Arkansas border.
Okay. All right. There's something. I was like, well, Ruston, you could be anywhere. You could be anywhere on that map.
About a 3-hour drive from Dallas.
Woo. Don't want to make that drive.
Fuck you. Dallas is good country.
Hey, I haven't been to Dallas. I've been to Fort Worth.
That was beautiful. That was mean.
I actually haven't been to Dallas. I've been to Fort Worth though.
Okay.
I do not salute. Fort Worth.
Just okay.
All right. Well, Jack, you want to lead us into the outro?
Yeah, absolutely. Big thanks to David Smerling, the one Mad Raider, for coming on the show. The guy just messed around on a Tuesday, people, and won $1,745, I think, dollars, top to bottom, $1,725. That too can be you. Go tail his picks, tail dialed picks, tail all these guys. Go make some money. So big thanks to him. This was the Wanna Parlay podcast, the official podcast of Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 investment into $2,000. Other people worth praise in addition to our guy David. We got MJ Spet 15 who won 250 earlier this week. The Sean Man 89 won 200. Alberto CP wins 175, and Big Zaw back on the leaderboard making 150. But nobody making more money than our man One Mad Raider. Great talking to him today. Great talking to you, Lance. We'll be back next week, next Monday, talking these AFC and NFC championship games as football season comes to a close and we start to transition to basketball. God help us.
Yep. Please help us. Wait. David Smerling, real quick. For NHL, Calgary Flames money line tonight.
Money line. That's a blind.
David, I'm gonna have to do a little backup research on that one. I'm not gonna lie. I got 2 Canadians that live in Calgary that are my good pals. I've never met them once. They're Xbox pals, but they're still pals. Come on, guys. This is the new era. But Big Zaw, by the way, shout out your name. That's an incredible username. And that's gonna be the end of the show. We'll be back, like Jack said, Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, talking about the Super Bowl matchup that'll be in front of our face. And yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in. See you next week. See ya.